It took me a long time to come to the realization that it wasn't me. The only way that I could describe it would be control. He has total control. He controls the equipment. He controls where you go. He controls when you go, you know? And you hear about this stuff in this day and age, and it's almost hard to believe it's happening, you know?
I'll be in a crowd, in a room, and he'll say hello to everyone except me. He'll even call them by name. For the first few times, I'm a big boy, but when it happens continually, you just feel so less and less.
He wouldn't guarantee that he wouldn't attack me if he saw me on the work site. Now, regardless if he wanted to attack me or he would attack me, just by making the statement, the threat was there.
I confronted him about it, the bully, and he realized he was called out. He didn't say anything right then, but after that, it got worse.
The demeaning and downright ignoring. My boss would call a staff meeting, but I wouldn't be invited. I was required to post my whereabouts whenever I left the office, while everybody else was free to come and go as they please.
Now, the areas I had to go to day, they were his areas. Now, I avoided these areas as much as possible, but I couldn't do my job effectively. I was constantly looking over my shoulder. I started to take a break every morning and every afternoon for about 20 minutes just to get away from it. This is something really foreign to me.
I spent a lot of time in a canoe, actually. My friend, the poor guy, he sat up front and I sat in the back, and I just kind of told him everything.
I would go and tell the bosses that were involved what was happening to me, and they didn't do a thing. Management told me that I could work from home. I can't do that. I can't work from an office in the corner of my home. I oversee 14 people. Why can't you just deal with the problem? You need to deal with the problem and tell that man to back off. That is the problem.
Now, I did my best just to carry on and do my work. But I was just carrying on with this extra burden of always having to keep my head down. So I thought about going to a doctor, and I hate doctors. I really hate going to the doctors. I said, God, this is bothering me so bad.
I got no support from HR. They left me. They did not contact me. I told EFAP my story, and I still couldn't get any support from the company. I felt like they just, abandoned me. I didn't really want to get too far into it with my wife, because I guess I just didn't want to worry her, I was thinking, it'll be all right. I can handle this.
I started not being able to sleep, and my memory was becoming a problem. I started seeing a doctor, and he took me off of work. He said that I was suffering from depression, and he even referred me to a psychiatrist.
I've got no closure with the whole thing. It was never addressed. The whole thing was just dropped. I feel like I'm being abandoned.
The depression, it kind of crept up on me, really. I didn't see it coming. It was like all of a sudden one day I was like, what the heck is going on?
I guess it wasn't something I was expecting. I guess I always considered myself strong.
It was that morning that I got up, I showered, I shaved, I packed my lunch, and then it started, the shaking, and it just wouldn't stop. So I called my drive, I called work, and told them I wouldn't be coming in, and it was then that I called the doctor.
It's like if you subject yourself to loud noises for a long time. It's a cumulative effect. You don't even realize what it's doing until all of a sudden you're deaf. It's the same. You don't realize, you don't notice what's happening until all of a sudden everything just falls to heck.
If the abuser is in a sufficient position of power and they're not likely to be removed, well, my big solution was leaving.
I mean, it still blows me away what it actually did to me. I mean, there were days that I could not even get out of bed.
I absolutely dreaded going to work, but I've got a wife, I've got a kid, I need to work.